There are a great number of hot topics that divide our culture today. Politics, racism, sexuality, mental health, and the environment, just to name a few. The Bible has much to say on all of these subjects because they deeply affect what God cares about most, His precious sons and daughters. But increasingly, secular people don't want to hear what Christians have to say. Why is that? Well, the answer is complicated, but it's critical we figure it out. A major factor is a shift in culture. Christianity used to occupy the moral high ground in the West. Church attendance was high, and the Bible was considered the dominant moral guide. But this is no longer the case. Today, Christianity is perceived by many as immoral, landing on the wrong side of prevailing views on sexuality, racial reconciliation, and the environment. Now, this may come as a shock, but the research confirms it. According to a Barna study, the three most common perceptions of Christianity are anti-homosexual, judgmental, and hypocritical. Perhaps most damaging is the syncretism of Christianity in politics. In a world that is increasingly tribal and polarized, the belief that to be Christian means you have to vote a certain way has driven a major wedge between Jesus followers and secular culture. Sadly, Christians are seen as enemies of justice and progress. In light of this drastic shift in perception, is it any surprise that the world isn't interested in what Christians have to say, especially when it comes to the contentious hot topics? A sincere follower of Jesus has to overcome significant baggage in order to be heard outside of the church. Now, of course, it's fair to mention that this is not only an inaccurate description of many Christians, but it's an exaggerated narrative perpetuated by a media that really doesn't like God all that much. Nonetheless, perception is reality, and it's clear that we do bear some of the blame. It's also fair to mention that being rejected by culture is part of the deal. We live in the age of relativism. The only absolute truth is that there is no absolute truth. But the Bible is filled with claims of exclusivity and absolute moral imperatives, making it profoundly countercultural. But the Apostle John reminds us that we don't belong to this world. He says, "If you belong to the world, it would love you as its own. As it is, you do not belong to the world, but I have chosen you out of the world. That is why the world hates you." Following Jesus means we'll never fully fit into culture. We will always be aliens and exiles. This has always been true, but that doesn't let us off the hook. We have in some ways contributed to the negative view of Christianity that has blocked our ability to be winsome truth tellers. We have to ask ourselves, does the world not want to hear us because we look too much like Jesus or not enough like Him? So how do we fix this? Well, we need to stop being shocked by sin, open our lives and hearts to non-believers, and remember what the gospel really is. Over the next few videos, we will dig into each of these steps in more depth, and hopefully together we can regain the ear of a world that desperately needs to hear the truth. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you want more information on Steiger, what we are, and how you can get involved, watch this video by clicking here. If you want the next video in the series, you can go ahead and click here. And don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell. That way you'll know when a new video of ours comes out.